Hello everyone, uh, my name is Sahib Singh, certified gym instructor and an enrolled nurse, a profession which I'm not practicing. Welcome to Wearable Fitness. Uh, in today's topic, I want to talk about a really important thing which people struggle with in today's time is known as fat loss or weight loss. Uh, to begin with, what I would like to say is that fat loss is something which is more of a mental game compared to the physical game. Now, why I say a mental game is because a lot of people, think that I'll do a lot of physical exercise and I'll do a lot of workout in the gyms, but if due to some factors, if you're not mentally strong up here, or um, if you're not consistent, then you won't see the results, no matter how much workout or how much exercise you're doing in the gym. Okay, to begin with, um, fat loss is something which depends on some factors, which I would like to tell you. Factors such as your most important factor is nutrition, because without eating nutrient dense food, you won't see the results which you want to. Second factor is your activity levels. If you're someone who does a desk job, or if you're someone who sits in front of a computer or is working from home, then you're living a sedentary lifestyle because you're sitting on a chair for like 8 hours or even more than that. So I would say that increase your activity levels during this stage. The third factor is your lifestyle. When I say lifestyle, uh, it includes a lot of things such as your work. If you are a businesswoman or businessman, then I would say that um, at this during the fat loss stage, focus less on the business, or because business can give you a lot of stress, because all you guys, I mean, if you're a businesswoman or a businessman, you would know that profit is everything for you guys. But if something bad happens in the business, then you might quit this journey. So at this fat loss stage, I would say that take less stress of businesses or work. Just even if it's work, just take less stress about it. Fourth factor is your sleep. Sleep is very crucial because most of the changes in your body, or whatever, even if it's fat loss or muscle gain, you will see it happen when you're in the resting stage. Now, resting stage is like a huge serving of sleep. You need at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep in order to see changes. All right. To begin with, fat loss can be conquered with the old-fashioned way, which I'm pretty sure you must have heard of this term, also known as calorie deficit. Now, what is calorie deficit? To explain it in a layman's term, calorie deficit is basically you're consuming less food, and you're compared to like your workouts. Like if you're someone who's very active, but if you're consuming less food, then you will definitely see results in terms of losing that fat, even if it's on your waistline, chest, thighs, arms, or even the back as well. Now, I've done some research, I've done my homework in this because it's a very broad topic, but I don't want to make this video very long, so I want to say a few things, discuss a few things about fat loss. To begin with, I want to talk about some facts about the fat. So let's dig right in. So before we jump into stubborn fat and how to get rid of it, the first thing that we need is to have a basic understanding of this particular tissue, also known as fat. Fat is often seen as the enemy, but the matter of fact is that our bodies require a certain amount of fat, to function correctly. Now, here are some basic facts that you may or may already know, but if you already know, good. If not, then I'll tell you about it. The first thing is that the body, it can't make fat from the scratch. Fats, the fats that the body can't make on its own, like triglycerides and cholesterols, are called essential fatty acids. Fats store energy, insulate us, and protects our vital organs. That is why we also have things called there's a thing called visceral fat, which is stored around the organs. Yeah, that's its main role, to protect our organs. Essential fatty acid acts as messenger and helps proteins to do their jobs. Uh, Another factor I like to add is that you know if you're consuming healthy amount of fats, then it will help males especially to create more testosterone, which is a muscle building hormone. Uh, Fats start chemical reactions that help control immune function, growth, reproduction, and other aspects of metabolism. Now, we humans, even animals, regulate their energy through the cycle of making, breaking, storing, and metabolizing fats. An imbalance in any part of the fat cycle can result in disease, including heart disease or diabetes. Fats acids the body in stockpiling certain nutrients like vitamin A, D, E, and K, which are stored in the liver and fatty tissues. So, fat is also our friend when we are utilizing it properly, when we know how to work around it. But when something goes wrong with our metabolism, diet, exercise, or hormones, that is where the problem starts. And that is where fat becomes our enemy. And even when you get back on the track with diet and exercise, there will be some aspects or ratio that there will still be some stubborn fat which will be sticking to your body. Um, but that's normal, nothing to fear about. Okay. Uh, the thing is that fat loss or weight loss is not a linear journey. Now, why I said that is when we talk about fat loss, people think that the graph will always be like this. No, that's not the case. Unfortunately, fat loss or weight loss is never linear, because the thing is that when we have our own stresses, we have our own demons in our lives. So whenever something happens, we stop this journey in between. Or even some people who are seeing results with fat loss, they say that we are also losing muscle as well, but that's not the case. If you're consuming enough amount of proteins, you will never lose the muscle mass. The term when I said that fat loss is never linear is because it can be impacted by factors like work. Because if you're taking too much stress or work, if you have some stresses in your life, you will give the fat loss pause in between. Other factor can be vacations. If you're someone who likes to go traveling or travel to places, then you will indulge yourself in wrong foods or the foods which you should not be indulging with. That can cause hassle in the fat loss journey. Other thing is the people you hang around with. Yes, that is correct. So during this fat loss stage, we shouldn't be hanging around with people who can demoralize you, who are toxic to you. So make sure that you stay away from such people. Now these people can be either your friends or someone you don't like to meet often, or it can be your relatives as well. So during this stage, I would say that just stay away from these people for a while. Now it's up to you. I'm not gonna pressurize anyone. The other factor is lack of sleep. Some people won't see results if you have problems sleeping. Now, if you're someone who is having trouble with sleep, then I would highly recommend that please see a general practitioner or a doctor, as they might be able to help you or guide you as to why you're not falling asleep. This is a topic, sleep and fat loss is another topic which I'll cover in some other video, so make sure you stay tuned to my channel. Uh, the other thing is that why some people are unable to lose fat is because in male especially, even in females as well, we, I, I mean, let's talk about males first. As males, we tend to store fat around our chest and mostly around our waistline or this tummy area. Uh, there are two things also, if you've heard this before, it's called alpha receptors and beta receptors. Now, the more the when you're in a someone who's extremely obese, you will be carrying a high amount of alpha receptors. Now, alpha receptors are anti-fat burners, so you're if you're not if you're doing the exercise, if you're not taking and if you're not taking care of your nutrition, then it will be hard for you to lose fat because you're not receiving that blood flow in that particular area where there's a lot of fat accumulated in order for it to burn. The other receptor is called the beta receptor. Now, this is the receptor which will help you burn fat because beta receptors increases the blood flow in that area, and and it also depends on the nutrition that will result in fat burning. Okay, let's talk about the fat burning process. Now, to begin with, fat burning process is also depend on this particular thing which is known as lipolysis. Now fat needs to be released from a fat cell. This process of fat breakdown and release is called lipolysis. Fat needs to be carried to another cell through the bloodstream. Now, poor blood flow to an area means slow fat loss from an area. Second step is oxidation. Fat needs to enter the mitochondria to be burned, which is also known as lipid oxidation. It is important to understand that the fact that fat is broken down and released doesn't necessarily mean it will ultimately be burned, which is also called lipid oxidation. It could be restored, and this is often the case in people who are very insulin resistant or end up in calorie surplus. Now, I want to the definition of lipolysis. Lipolysis is the process by which fats are broken down in our bodies through enzymes and water, or hydrolysis. It occurs in our adipose tissue stores, which are the fatty tissues that cushion and line our bodies and organs. In fact, fats can be thought of simply as stored energy. Fats are ready and available for when our glucose stores run low between meals, and it makes sense for lipolysis to occur as it facilitates the movement of these stored fats through our bloodstream, breaking down its potential energy into free-moving fatty acids can then allow to be repurposed and expanded as fuel. To make it a little bit easy, I know that this is complicated to understand. Uh, when we eat processed food, especially fast food or even any form of oily food, it body stores it as glucose. Now, what you can't burn will be stored as fat for energy. Simple as that. Okay. Don't know if I missed any point. Yeah, so I would like to get back to this the factors which can really make your fat loss journey harder. Now, when I said that fat loss is not linear, I covered few points. The other factor can be cravings. Yes, that's right. When you start your fat loss journey, uh, you know you will feel cravings of the foods which you were indulging yourself in, or if you were someone who is used to eating from restaurants or takeaways, then in the very beginning you will always have that urge, that I can't tolerate it, I need to eat something. But that is where this comes in place. So you have to control yourself, and this also depends on the leptin and ghrelin levels. These are two hunger hormones, which I will talk about in some other videos. So make sure you stay tuned. Um, Sorry about that. Yeah, so fat loss is not like this. It is like this. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. Just like anything in our life. Uh, a few facts which I want to talk about is stubborn fat. Now, what is stubborn fat? It sits under the skin, which is also known as subcutaneous fat. More tougher and harder it is to lose than visceral fat because of the lack of blood flow. Because your when I say lack of blood flow, let's look at it this way. For example, I'm gonna train biceps today. So when I train biceps, when I'm curling, after a bicep workout is done, you will feel that when you touch your skin or you touch your muscle, it's pretty warm. That is because you are getting the blood flow in that particular muscle group. But when you touch your tummy or that place where the fat is lying around, you'll feel that it's cold. That particular area is pretty cold. That is because of the lack of blood flow. The blood flow. So, yeah, the fat loss will highly depend on your nutrition, your lifestyle factors, your lifestyle choices, and your sleep. Uh, the stubborn fat is more reactive to insulin, more alpha receptors than beta receptors. Um, and this particular fat, the stubborn fat, it burns at a very slow pace, so you need to be consistent. Now, in terms of consistency, what I would suggest is that when you're consuming nutrients dense food, I'm not gonna say that eat whatever you like. I would say invest your money in healthy food options, um, and make sure that you make it enjoyable when you eat. Otherwise, it will be just a short term diet plan which you will give up on easily. Okay, so I guess this is the end of the video, people. Uh, if I missed something, I extremely apologize again. You can mention it in the comment section if I missed something, and I'll definitely respond you back. If you found this video informational and helpful, please leave a thumbs up, comment, and share with your friends and family. Uh, and if you like my other videos, including this video, then do subscribe to my channel. Again, this is Sahib Singh signing out.